Hello guys, it's your boy TheToxicBigFoot back at it again with another video for you guys today, and this is going to be sort of a vlog type thing to explain my absence and why I haven't been uploading to YouTube, and just sort of give you guys the general gist of what's been happening over the last several months. So without beating around the bush with it, I think I'm just gonna get straight into it. I suffer with depression and anxiety, and the last couple of months have been slightly overwhelming in regards to dealing with things on day-to-day basis. So I've had to sort of take a step back from my work life, my personal life, such as social groups and such, and also take a step back from YouTube. I know it's like, could be quite a difficult thing to hear, but at the same time, when you're in the position that I have been over the last several months, it's kind of hard to motivate yourself to do anything at all. With that being said, I don't want you guys to start panicking and worrying, because hearing it could be a brutal thing, I know, but it's like, I kind of want to discuss a couple of topics. Well, discuss one major topic mainly. It's just that there's like this stigma attached to mental illnesses and stuff about depression and anxiety and other things relating to it. It's like, it's not talked about enough, and I don't want to make this video and make it seem like, oh, I've got depression, look at me. I want it to break that stigma of people not talking about it. I want it to be a more approachable thing. I want it to be something that's more openly talked about, where it's more discussed, because if it's more discussed, then people will realise it's an actual thing that happens in a lot more like people's lives than they think. Like, it's a lot more common than what you think it would be. Like, you don't know what's going on behind closed doors or behind a curtain in someone's life, and you may as well be suffering from what I'm saying that I'm suffering with, or you may know someone that's suffering with it. And I feel like there's the stigma attached to it, like, because a lot of people think, oh, you can't see mental illness, depression, you can't see it, it's not there. And there's a lot of stereotypical phrases or sayings used, like, oh, well, why are you anxious about it? Just get over it, it'll be fine. Or, why are you sad about it? Just cheer up, get over it. Or, why are you sad? You were happy yesterday. Like, there's a lot of little things along those lines that are said, that sort of like just come under the stereotypical, I don't know, phrase that's used to sort of undermine what a mental illness is. And it doesn't really help people that suffer from mental illnesses, and because they're not really talked about, it's just one of those things that it's a bit debilitating in the way that it's like, because it's not talked about, it's like, oh yeah, it's not a thing, like, get over it. Whereas like, if it was more discussed, more openly talked about, and more shared with other people, more people will realise that, oh, it actually is a thing. Like, this is a thing that needs to be talked about. This is a subject that affects a lot more people than we actually realise, and maybe if we talk about it, we can actually help people who are suffering from it. For those of you that are confused, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a link to what depression and anxiety is from what I can find on Google, and I'll also leave a link to Samaritans in the description below for any of you guys that like might find this a bit upsetting to hear and you feel like you need someone to talk to. But other than that, I'm not going to go into too much detail about my personal experiences, but going back to what I said, that I don't want you guys to worry, I do have depression, I do have anxiety, and it's quite difficult for me to make a video like this, but at the same time, I feel like you guys deserve an explanation. It's not fair for me to upload content for you guys and suddenly disappear, and then just suddenly start uploading again and be like, hi guys, I'm back. I don't feel that's a very fair or a nice thing to do for people that support your channel, well, support my channel, in a way that they leave nice comments, they subscribe, they like it, they give me feedback of what they do and don't like, whether it's constructive criticism or just outright criticism, or whether it's just a, hey, great video today, mate. It's a bit unfair on the people that tune in to watch, I guess. And I feel like I owe you guys this explanation. Like I said, I'm not going to be getting too much into the details of my personal experiences, but the basic general gist of what it is I've been going through a lot over the past couple of months, and I've had to take a step back from a lot of things. I've kind of got it under reins now, and I'm on some medication and I'm seeking professional help from doctors and whatnot. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but that's to sort of give you guys a little bit of peace of mind that, like, I'm not okay, but I'm okay with not being okay. And that's a phrase that, like, I've come across quite recently, and I've quite liked the phrase and, like, the simple meaning and term behind it. It's like, it's okay not to be okay. Like, it's okay to be depressed, like, it's okay to have bad days, it's okay to be sad, it's okay to be anxious. Like, that's a natural thing. It is gonna happen. It's not like it's not there. Like, it will always be a thing. The thing I'm trying to make, point I'm trying to make, sorry, is because it's a thing, we need to talk about it more, because the more it's talked about, the more it's going to be accepted, and the more we'll help people. And if you help others to understand, they will help you to help yourself, if that makes sense. So a little brief description of it could be, I was going through a lot and I didn't feel like I had anyone to turn to, but I had some friends there that were, like, really not pushing, but, like, they were there for me in the way that I needed them to be, and I helped them to understand more so they could help me in turn to help myself. So because I helped them understand, and I told them and explained to them what it is and what it is that I'm going through, they were able to help me to help myself. So they were able to give me better advice and suggestions of what I could do, couldn't do. And it was kind of nice to sort of reflect on that, because they were able to help me in a way that I didn't think that anyone would be able to help me. And it's kind of nice and a comforting feeling to realise that you're not actually alone, and that people do care, and that all you need to do, as difficult as it may be, and you may have bad experiences with troubles opening up to people about it, or you may have experiences where it's like you open up to someone and it kind of gets thrown back in your face, which I'll get to in a minute. But the issue I'm getting at is, the more it's talked about, the more it's going to be accepted, the more casual, I guess, it will be, of like a seriousness, if you kind of get what I'm going. I know that might seem a little bit confusing, but the point I'm trying to make is like a problem shared is a problem halved. So if you open up to someone, you talk about it, you know, chances are they could either be going through the same thing, they might know someone who's gone through the same thing or still is going through the same thing, they might have a little bit of knowledge that you might not think about it, but because it's not a talked about subject, you don't know what the other person might think about it, if you kind of get what I mean. So that's what I'm saying, like, the more it needs to be talked about, because it's like, it's a thing, like, we need to get to, like, not the bottom of it, I guess, but like, I don't know, the more it's talked about, the more it's gonna be like a concrete thing where people go, oh, okay, well, I had experience with this friend who was going through a similar thing, maybe you could try this, or, oh, well, have you thought about this? And sometimes it's not just about giving advice, sometimes it's just being there for someone, being able to listen, being like, if you need a rant or vent, then like, you can do so. With that being said, I'm gonna bring up the point that I just made, where it's like, you open up to someone and you feel like it's shut back in your face. If you do know someone, or if any of this springs to mind and you suddenly think, oh, well, maybe that person's going through what he's describing, or I know someone similar that, like, I'm worried about, kind of thing, it's always nice and a comforting feeling, even if it gets shoved back in your face, to ask someone if they're doing okay, because it can really, really make someone's day. Like, to go out of your own way and to try and help someone that you might be a little bit worried about, or even not worried about, you just show a genuine concern and care for, and you could just be like, hey, how you doing, you alright? Here if you need to talk. Like, something as simple as that can genuinely make someone's day, and it really does help people along, and really does sort of like, it builds a sort of trust where, like, you can begin to open up to that person, and like, you begin to converse about the subject. And like I said, and I keep reiterating this point, the more it's talked about, the better that is, because it is a thing that needs to be talked about more. It is something that, it's like someone suddenly just pulled a tarpaulin sheet over it, and like, that was it, and it was like, we're not going to talk about this, it shouldn't be talked about. And I think that's very, very wrong. It's something that definitely needs to be addressed, and it needs to be brought up more frequently in conversations. Again, I'm sorry if this is upsetting any of you guys. That's not my intention. I just wanted to sort of like give you a general gist of what some of my issues are and like what's been going on with myself. Like I said, I am seeking some help for it. I am on medication for it, but I'm not going to go into details because whilst it's good to talk about certain things, I think certain things should remain private and shouldn't just be put out of there for the sake of being put out there. So I think it is perfectly within my right to retain that information. Maybe someday in the future, in another vlog, I'll probably talk about it, maybe not, but who knows, we'll see. If you guys have any questions about anything I've said so far, leave it in the comments below and I'll be more than happy to try and help or answer any questions or queries that you guys have. There were several other points that I wanted to make, and I tried to make this video to try and be structured as possible, but it's quite difficult to do that when there's a lot to talk about in what I wanted to be a sort of short, brief video of explaining where I've been, what's going to be happening from now, and like sort of keep you guys in the loop and up to date of what's been going on. So like I've just said, it is okay not to be okay. Like, you're going to go through some stages in life where things are going to get really bad, and it could be something minuscule to someone else, but to another person that could be like a really big deal. You've got to remember that people come in all different shapes and sizes, and so does depression and mental illnesses and anxiety and things like that. They affect people in many different ways. So say if you've got two friends and one person's going through depression, the other one's going through depression, this person might be slightly affected more by some things that this person isn't affected by. Same with this person, that might be affected more by certain things that this person isn't affected by. So it's like, it's finding that balance and medium between two people that like feel that way. If any of you guys out there know what I'm talking about, in regards to knowing someone who's going through it, if you are going through it as well. And like, it's just to be a little bit extra cautious and courteous towards other people, to sort of like, it's sort of like, I don't know, planting a seed, I guess, in your mind to be like, okay, like this might upset them, like I should probably think before I say that or suggest that. Or if you kind of get where I'm coming from, I hope this isn't too confusing. I'm trying to keep this as structured as possible. Like I said, I'm going to be leaving links in the description below to what depression is, what anxiety is, what a mental illness is, and I'm going to leave a link to Samaritans helpline if you guys feel like you want to talk to someone about it. If you don't feel like you can talk to someone you know, like Samaritans is a really good helpline. Like, you can just talk to them, and I think there's also a text line which I'll try and find, and I'll leave in the link below as well. Like I said, I'm going to be looking this up on Google, and I will try and find the best sort of fitting analogy, I guess, that will sort of try and fit what I'm trying to say most. Another thing I wanted to bring up is, whilst the past couple of months have been quite difficult, I've had some people be there for me in more than many ways that I can actually imagine, and it's made me realise that I'm not actually alone as I thought I was, which is a good thing. Some of these people are like personal friends, some of these people are family members, and some of these people are fellow YouTubers that I tend to do videos with and you have seen me do videos with. Links to their YouTubes in the description below, because they're people that you would want to have around in your life and to help you through times like this, because I found them personally to help me through a lot of what I've gone through in many different ways. And it's not necessarily that the fact that they've done anything for me, it's just the fact that they've been there when I've needed them most in little and big ways. But some of these people are Mastermind's channel, Razab and Peaceful Panda. From there, they've been a massive help to them. Sack of Truth Gaming, Anonymous Caveman and Just Kieran Things, they've been a huge help as well, and I thank all of those guys very dearly. They've been a big help to me and just sort of try to motivate me towards the right sort of general direction of where I want things to go, now that I've tried to figure out where I want things to go, because I've taken a step back and sort of looked back at this bigger picture and thought, this is kind of what I know I need to do now, this is what I think should happen from now on. So with that being said, I want to address something else, and it might confuse some people, but it's just I don't know, it feels like a little nitpicky point that I feel like some smart ass might point out, but they might not, who knows. But I feel like I have to say it for my own sake, so people don't get confused. With something like depression, and with someone like me, I tend to use a lot of dark humour to sort of cover up what I'm actually feeling, which a lot of depressed people tend to do. So with that being said, I don't want you to think, oh, but you've taken the piss out of this, this and this in a previous video, and now you're saying depression needs to be talked about, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying that you can't take the piss out of it. I'm just saying that in my personal opinion and in my personal sort of experiences, and I don't know, in the situations that I've been in, I found it more beneficial to me than to sort of like make light of a really dark subject that I struggle with and like sort of bring it over here a little. So it's like, depression's a fucked up thing, I know, but like for me, if I try and make light of it because it's so shit, if I try and make light of that, then maybe I can like sort of try and find some good in it. Because like, if I constantly went through life and thought depression's the most fucked up thing, I can't do this, I'm not going to be able to do this, which I have been thinking over the last several months, then it's going to get to the point where I wouldn't be able to do anything at all. Whereas if I try and make light of little bits here and there, for me, I find that more beneficial, because it's like, it's just my way of coping. It's like a little coping mechanism. I'm not sure if you guys will agree with that, but that's just my personal opinion. So I don't want you guys to sort of be nitpicky and think, well, you've taken the piss out of this, this and this in certain other videos. Why are you trying to justify it? It's not that I'm trying to justify it, it's just, it's one of those little things that some of you guys might agree with, some of you guys might disagree with, and it's just one of those things where I think it's like, I don't know, for me it helps. It might not help for others, but for me it helps. And like, I don't want someone to take that out of context and be like, oh, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I hope you kind of get where I'm going with that. I think that wraps up most of what I've been saying there. To end things on a lighter note, which is a good thing, I've got a lot of old footage that I recorded before I took a step back from YouTube that I'm going to be uploading very, very soon. I've got videos from Resident Evil 7, Alien Isolation, Outlast 2, Cluster Truck. I've also started recording a series of Wolfenstein The New Order, and then I plan on doing Old Blood and then going on to Wolfenstein 2. I'm potentially thinking of picking up a couple other games like Minecraft with the Conquest Reforged mod. I'm also thinking of picking up maybe Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor. I have both games. I'm just thinking of picking up and doing a series on them, or maybe compilation here and there. I still plan on doing Overwatch videos, and I think there's an Overwatch compilation coming out soon, which I edited a couple of days ago. Other than that, I don't want you guys to suddenly think, oh, he's back, here's a video, he's going to start uploading as much as he was. I'm going to slowly ease myself back into it. I want to upload here and there and see how I feel about it. And then if I feel like I can handle that extra little bit, then I'm going to continue to do so and just sort of, not push myself, but just sort of slowly get into the habit of doing it, I guess. Like, give myself a sort of schedule of when to upload, maybe what time, and I'm hoping after I've built up a steady sort of streamline of it, I'm hoping to upload between 3 to 5 times a week maybe, and maybe stream once or twice a week if I can handle that extra workload, because I'm feeling a lot better of myself, and thing is, like, I'm not okay, but like, I'm okay with not being okay. So it's like, I've learned to accept that, like, I know I've got issues that I have to deal with and I'm ready to deal with them, and taking this step back has been important for me to actually realise this, and I wouldn't have been able to do it on my own. I've had a lot of help from family and friends that have sort of helped me guide the sort of, not guide, but sort of point me or help me sort of steer in the right direction. And that's why I'm going with the whole, you need to talk about this more, because it needs to be talked about more, because I can't imagine where I would be now if I didn't have that help and guidance from my friends and family. Like, it's just one of those things where I couldn't have seen where I was going to end up, and without that, then I don't know, I probably wouldn't be making this video. And I don't want it to make it seem like, oh, everything's on all these other people. It's kind of like, I don't know, like, I wouldn't have been able to get as far as I have done in the very little time that I have on my own. So because I've had that help, because I've been able to talk about it, it's helped a lot. Like, I don't know if that helps anything with you guys or helps clear it up or anything, but that's just the way I feel on it. There was also some more good news. Peaceful Panda from the Masterminds channel has done a new logo for me and a new watermark. You'll see the logo on the channel right now. He said he's potentially working on a channel intro and outro and a new banner for the YouTube page, which I'm really looking forward to do, but that won't be done for a while yet, so I don't want you guys to get your hopes up and think, oh, it's going to be up next week. Little things like this are going to take time. But again, I thank some of you guys for your patience, and I thank you guys for tuning in and watching. I'm going to leave links to a lot of my other stuff in the description below, like my Facebook page, my Twitter, my Patreon account if you want to support me on there monetarily. I'm going to leave links to everyone else's YouTube who's helped me through this in the description below, and I'm also going to leave links about mental illnesses, depression, anxiety, and the Samaritans helpline as well. Other than that, I think that's pretty much wrapped up this video. I mean, there will be videos coming. Just be patient while I try and get things in order to make that happen. I'm trying to get a little bit ahead of schedule, so I have a couple of videos prepared for you guys, so it just doesn't suddenly stop again. I have a lot to edit. With that being said, I think I've got maybe 20 videos in total to edit, so it's not like I have to record new footage yet, because I can. It's just I'd rather get some of the old footage that I've already recorded out of the way so I can finish with series like Resident Evil 7, Outlast 2, Cluster Truck and Alien Isolation before going on to other games like Wolfenstein, Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War, Minecraft, that sort of thing. With that being said, I've also got quite a few new games that I want to be testing out, and I also want to finish out the Resident Evil 7 series because there's a new DLC, I believe, coming out in December. So I want to finish off the next 2 DLCs and the full game before that one comes out. So I'm hoping to get that pretty much polished off before the DLC comes out, so when it comes out it's fresh for you guys, so you're seeing it for the first time. I also want to do sort of prequels to some of the games that I've done, like Outlast 2, I want to go back and do Outlast 1 and The Whistleblower. I've got a lot of ideas for you guys. The ideas are there, it's just putting pen to paper kind of thing and just sort of being like, right, I need to do this, this, this and this. So it's like, just all I'm saying is just be patient, videos will be coming. I am sorry about the nature of this video, I realise that it probably is upsetting. I thank anyone that has been there for me in the past and still continues to be there for me, and anyone who will be there for me in the future. I just want to say, for anyone else that is going through similar things or feel like I am talking about someone that pops up to mind, just realise that these people are not alone and you are not alone. It is okay not to be okay, and this is something that needs to be talked about. If I might think of setting up an email if any of you guys want to let me know in the comments below if any of you guys want me to set an email up where you can like email me and talk about any troubles that you may be going through, even if it's just something that you want someone to listen to and you feel better for ranting and venting about it. Sometimes I find that helps personally, but maybe I can give you tips and tricks on little things that I've picked up along the way to sort of help me deal with little things that I've struggled to deal with over the last several years, and just sort of realise that like this is a thing and like it is okay not to be okay. And I promise you, like, no matter how dark things seem at one point, things will eventually get better, and it took me a long time to realise that. But if you think of it in the way that is like everything you've gone through up until that certain point you've already beaten, and just think of it in the way that it's like you've already conquered the day by getting out of bed. That is the hardest thing to do, I think, with anyone with depression, is getting out of bed, waking up and getting out of bed. If you conquer that, you can conquer the next step, then the next step, then the next step, then the next step, and it all adds up. And if you think about everything you've conquered up until that day, where it's like, oh, I've had depression for months now, like, what am I going to do with myself? Like, just think, like, you've gone that long with it, and the longer you go with it, I suppose, the better it is, which sounds weird to say, but like, if you've had depression for a long, long time, and the longer you've had it, just think you've gone all of that time beating it. Like, why not go another day? And then, why not go another day after that? And then another day, keep going. There is always a brighter day coming. And even if tomorrow is the darkest day, there is still another brighter day coming. Like, the best day of your life could be next week, but it might take a week of dark days to get to that best day. And then after that best day, your life, you know, you might you might think like life is worth living. Like life has completely changed for me now. Like I can see things in a different light, at a new angle and a new aspect. And I think that's why I'm getting at with like, it needs to be talked about more, because people might help you see things in a different light. And that's what I've experienced with opening up to people and talking about it with friends and family, is that you aren't alone and there are people there for you that care. And it's like, it's more acceptable now to talk about it, because it's a thing for me now that I've told people about it. I want to address the point to other people that it is okay to talk about it, because you might think, oh, like, I'm going through this, but you might watch this video and think, do you know what, I might talk to my brother, I might talk to my sister, I might talk to my aunt, uncle, dad, mum, granddad, grandparents, friends, maybe someone at your school, college, university, workplace, anyone. I assure you, someone out there cares, and it may not feel like it, but someone cares, and it is okay not to be okay. I did say I was going to end this video on a lighter note, but I've just sort of slipped back into the sort of darker bits of it. I do apologise for that. Anyway guys, I think that wraps up most of what I was going to say. I hope I've stuck to the main structure of what I was going to say. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and if you want to share this, feel free and share it with whoever you wish, or show someone that you might think that, oh, they might need to watch this. Like, it might help someone, and do you know what I mean? Just bear that in mind, please. Like, it helped me, so just think of someone else, or think of yourself when you watch this, and I don't know, maybe you might end up helping someone. You might not, but you never know. It helped me, so why wouldn't it help anyone else? Like, there's a lot of people on this earth, and I don't know, you weren't supposed to do everything alone, like, and you're never going to be alone. Like, there is always someone that cares, and there was always going to be someone that will be willing to help you. Just bear that in mind, please. Again, I apologise for the upsetting nature of this video. I probably shouldn't be grinning and smiling about it, but just want you guys to know that I'm back. I'm doing okay. Well, I'm not doing okay, but I'm okay with not doing okay. I'm taking the right steps to sort of get where I need to be, and I know where I need to be now. Just stay tuned. Videos are coming your way, guys, and yeah, stay tuned. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care now, guys. Bye bye bye.